my name is Jennifer, and today we're going to factor trinomials that have a leading coefficient that is greater than 1. So grab a pencil and some paper and work through these problems with me. Now the first example we're going to do is 4x squared minus 4x minus 3. And we're going to factor this problem. Now remember, factoring means to write this problem back into a multiplication problem. Now if you've watched earlier videos, we solved problems that did not include a number, a coefficient in front of the x squared. It gets a little tricky when there's a number greater than 1 in front of the x squared. So I'm going to use an acronym to teach you a quicker way to solve this instead of the guess and check method. If you look above here, we have the phrase, Swedish fish don't really swim. Okay, we are going to use the first letter in each of these, the S, the F, D, R, and S, to help you remember the steps to solve this problem. So go ahead and get that paper and work through this problem with me. Okay. The first letter is the letter S. It's going to stand for the word slide. This step refers to, we're going to pick up our 4, which is our leading coefficient, and we are going to slide our 4 to the very end of this term, to the 3. This process of slide actually means we're going to multiply it. Okay. Now remember, this is a trick, so I'll show you how it all works out. But for now, let's pick up our 4 and multiply it times our -3. This is what our trinomial looks like now. X squared minus 4x minus 12. Next, the word fish. The F is going to stand for factor. Now we're going to factor this trinomial, x squared minus 4x minus 12. We're going to use our same factoring skills from before. Going to put an x and an x, and two numbers that multiply to -12, but add to a -4 would be a -6 and a +2. Next, the word don't starts with a D, which also is going to represent the word divide. In our first step, when we slid our 4 over to the 3 by multiplying it, we need to undo that. And how to undo multiplication is to divide. Okay? However, our -12 is now split into 2 numbers. And so we are going to put a division line, divide by 4, under both sides. Okay. Next, the word really starts with the letter R. That's going to represent the step reduce. Okay. We're going to look at both of these fractions, and we are going to reduce just top and bottom. We're not going to turn them into a decimal. 6/4. If you simplify both the top and bottom by 2, you will get 3/2. The next one is 2/4. If you both of those can be simplified by 2 to get x over 1/2. We're not quite done yet. We have one more step. The word swim begins with an S. which is going to represent the word swing. This step asks you to take the denominator and to move it or to swing it to sit in front of the letter X. So this problem would now be 2x minus 3. This fraction has a denominator. We're going to swing the 2 to the front and get 2x minus 1. So the answer to this problem is 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 1. All right, let's try another example. Let's factor 7a squared minus 9a plus 2. Now, because this has a leading coefficient that's greater than 1, it can be very tricky to factor this one. So we're going to use the same method that I taught for the first example. We're going to follow Swedish fish don't really swim. Okay? Our S stands for the word slide. What this step means is we're going to pick up this first 7 and we're going to slide, which is really multiply by the positive 2. Okay? This is what our new trinomial will look like. It's going to look like a squared minus 9a plus 14. The next step for following our acronym is FISH, which the F stands for factor. We are going to factor this trinomial. We'll put our A's down. Two numbers that multiply to positive 14 and add to negative 9 are negative 7 and negative 2. Next, D stands for the word divide. We need to undo the multiplication that we did in the first step. So we need to divide by what we multiplied. We multiplied by a 7, so we need to divide by a 7. Because our 14 is split into two separate numbers, we're going to divide by 7 twice. So write your division line and put a 7, your division line and a 7. Next, the R stands for reduce. We are going to reduce these fractions that are in each of these binomials. The first one, 7 over 7, it actually reduces to 1. So now we have a minus 1. Over here, 2 over 7, it does not reduce. There's not a number that goes into 2 and 7, so we're going to leave it as is. Our final step is swing. This last step is for any part of the binomial that still has a denominator. We're going to swing the denominator to the front of the variable. In our first binomial, we have a minus 1. There's not a denominator here, and so we're going to leave this as part of the answer. Our next one is a minus 2 over 7. 7 is in our denominator, so we are going to swing the denominator to go right in front of that a. This will be 7a minus 2. We did not have to swing anything with our a minus 1, so it still stays part of the answer. Our final answer to this problem is a minus 1 times 7a minus 2. Okay, let's do one more example. Let's factor the trinomial 2x squared plus x minus 15. We're going to use the same method as before. Swedish fish don't really swim. Our first step is to slide. We're going to pick up our 2, and we are going to slide it down here to the negative 15. That slide method really means to multiply. Okay, our trinomial now looks like x squared plus x minus 30. Next, the letter F stands for factor. We'll now factor x squared plus x minus 30 to be x plus 6 and x minus 5. Next, D stands for divide. We're going to divide by what we multiplied by. We multiplied by a 2. So to undo that, we need to divide by a 2. We need to divide that 2 by this 30, but now our 30 is split into 2 separate terms. So we're actually going to divide by 2 twice. And that step really means just to draw the division line and put the 2 underneath it. Next, R stands for reduce. We're going to reduce these fractions if we can. 6 over 2 actually reduces to the whole number 3. Five over 2, it cannot reduce. So for now, we'll leave it as 5 over 2. Now we're not quite done yet because we cannot leave a fraction as part of our answer. Our very last step is swing. This represents to swing the denominator to be in front of the variable. X plus 3 does not have a denominator, so this is ready to be part of our final answer. The next one has 2 as a denominator. We are going to swing the 2 to sit in front of the x. So the final answer to this problem is x plus 3 times 2x minus 5. Now, if you have any more questions about this topic, please contact your professor or stop by the Math Tutoring Lab or watch this video again.